come over to my neighbor's today, and he's got some new features added to his barn. Like a nice concrete floor. And they did put the expansion joints in like I suggested. Though that's not how I'd have done them exactly. Just cutting into the floor after the fact doesn't really add what you'd need in there, if that's what they did. It does kind of look like that's what was done. If you look there, it looks like I just cut down into it. Could be wrong, have been before. But being that he's got his creeper out, I'm assuming that he did like he said he was going to and roll all over the stupid thing with the creeper. Did you?
Oh, you know, I haven't done that yet.
I expected that would have been the first thing done once it dried.
I thought about it.
Did y'all cut these?
Cut them with a saw.
Why? Why didn't you put in a little fiberboard?
That's old school, man.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of old school works.
Well, yeah, but then you have to you have to try and get it in while you got the concrete all wet, and it's a bitch.
Yeah.
So you just rent a concrete saw for about $55, and thankfully Nino already had the $1 zillion diamond blade that goes with it, so we didn't have to rent that.
Yeah, they aren't cheap.
And zoom, zoom, man, we had all the cuts done in about like 30 minutes, and they're all nice and straight. I got the ain't it great? I just have to sit out here and look at it sometimes because it's just so awesome. The realization of a dream. You know,
and the realization that your bank account's now empty.
Empty as hell, yeah. I'm broke. But it was worth it.
I could get by with about 2 squares of this.
Oh, yeah. Well,
just something big enough to roll the car up in.
When you're doing it, if you're doing it that small, it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get by. Well, what this ended up costing, I'll share it with you if you're recording this.
I mean, it's
with all the, you know, we put the rebar in, or the wire in, and the little stones and everything like that.
Yep.
We ended up using exactly 20 yards, 2 trucks.
Wow, I thought it was going to be more than that.
I thought it was, my calculations said 22 to 24, and then the concrete company said 26, and so Mino, and I didn't know you could do this, you know, he got the concrete through his company, and he can order what's called, you know, in truck increments. So what he said was he ordered 20 plus. So that means if we do need another truck, we don't get charged extra for it.
Ah.
So they rolled 2 trucks out here, and it was $1,728.92.
Dang.
Tax and everything. As he got it, now he got it through, you know, his company, which was $74 a yard, and they added the retarder into it, which thank God they did. And so it was $76 a yard. So whatever that plus tax.
Huh.
I think it was $1728.92 or some shit like that.
So what was the idea behind the brushing of the little landing?
The ramp. You want the ramp brushed, because if that was slick, you'd fall and bust your ass out here.
Of course.
Yeah. In here,
I'm actually surprised it's not cross brushed.
But in here, yeah, if I spill oil on it, I'm going to slip and bust my ass. But that's a small price to pay because it's so pretty. And, okay, I can roll my creeper around on it, and it'll be okay. Which I've got to do here. This has been, like, I don't know, how long's it been since I was like 17 years old?
Quite a few years. Same.
So it's been that time coming. Okay, and I bought this nice, cool creeper from Harbor Freight on sale, of course, for $19.99, and just for this occasion.
I was gonna say if you'd let me know, I have one at the house I could have gave you.
Oh, well, I wasn't actually going to, I should be honest, I wasn't actually going to buy a creeper, but I saw this and it was on sale and it was cool, so I bought it. So I'm just going to roll around and just bask in the amazingness of being able to roll around
On your own shop floor.
on my own shop floor without hitting freaking rocks and pebbles and gravel or whatever the hell else I've been having to work on for the last 20 some odd years. And it's beautiful. Now, that may sound vain and arrogant to some, but all in all, a lot of work went into this. And a lot of sacrifice. And I ain't got it no greater than anybody else. So
You saved up quite a while to do it.
you put your mind to it, you can make it happen. And then the next thing it's going to make happen
Good lift.
is going to be my 10,000 pound lift, which is going to go right here.
So I
That was
see.
the other thing that scared me about the concrete too, because I went real deep there.
Yeah.
So that's almost 8 inches thick there.
Oh, so you thought it was going to run up more?
I thought, well, that's what I'm saying. I was worried I might come up short, but with the two trucks, it was funny as heck because they rolled the to me they seem bigger, but they say they're all 10-yard trucks. But this one shoots out the front of the truck, not out the back.
Oh, yeah.
And
Where'd you get Garrett Brothers?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they have no way of knowing really just how much cement is left or mortar or concrete is left in that truck. So they know it's empty when you hear the rocks tinkling around in it, but
Yeah.
you could have a couple of wheelbarrows full, or you could have half a yard in there, and it don't sound no different to them, and they don't have any way of telling. Now with the front shooting trucks, the guy was able to look down in there, and he was kind of able to see how much was left. So we had just enough to make that little thing there, because it comes down to a 2x4 here, and it's covered under this concrete. This concrete will crack off right here eventually.
Yeah.
But you can see the 2x4 right there.
Yep.
So it's about 3.5, 3 3/4 or whatever.
Ooh, I just thought of something. That's not a pressure treated 2x4, is it?
No, I don't care. Because eventually all that's going to come out. And all this will come out when we pave up
Well,
to
your
it.
forms, yeah, but you could have put a pressure treated 2x4 in there and just left it.
Yeah, but we're gonna pour more concrete in
Oh,
here
I see.
eventually.
Okay.
See, and then it's gonna mate up. It's gonna mate up to this.
Right.
Now at that point we will put a. Since we're gonna pour to it,
Put the fiberboard
I will
in
put
it.
that fiberboard in there. So, that's where it has its place.
Yeah.
Easy enough to
Out in
do.
the open.
But doing it in the middle of a wet slab, no. That'd be hell. That'd look like hell.
Well, I've seen it done. Matter of fact, most of the ones that I
That's
help
why they used to
pour,
do it all the time. And I actually asked Mino about that because I thought, man, how the hell are we going to do that? And he goes, oh, you don't do that no more. He said, that's old school. He said,
well, maybe there's a
pour your
difference
slab.
in how the mixture of the chemicals that they mix to make the concrete now. I don't know.
I don't know, but he says you pour the concrete, he says you've done it right, you put your wire in there and everything. And he says even if you didn't have wire, he said you say it was just fiber reinforced, because they tell you don't need no wire with that. But half the time they crack.
Yeah.
And he said you still have to cut joints in them.
Yeah.
He says, but you just cut those joints, and he said it'll never crack. So it will crack.
It gives it a
in
chance
between the
to,
joints.
yeah.
That's where it'll crack.
It gives it a chance to expand and contract with the different temperatures.
Yep. But
I see you went with more fiberboard on the back now.
Oh, well, we're putting the OSB up only up to the 12-foot mark. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're gonna recycle that roofing metal from the barn, or that metal from the barn. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the OSB up, and then we're gonna skin it with plastic. Okay. Then we're gonna screw the metal to it, and then I'll sand all the ugly out of it, and then we're gonna spray it with Cool Seal, a white Cool Seal, and it'll color it white. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want to put pretty wood out there, because that's going to be, we're going to have an extension coming off there where all the equipment is going to go.
Yeah, I figured actually you'd leave a doorway to go into the other room.
I thought about that, but I'd rather have horizontal bench space. Plus, there's already going to be a landing in here. You know, a stairway coming down to a 4-foot landing, and then it steps down. So if I put a door there, it's just going to waste practically the whole back wall. And if I got a car in here on a lift, I want to have lots of bench space in front.
Yeah.
And here's my idea. I've been pondering this. Okay. Is how to, you know, even though that's all going to be sealed in and everything, and there's going to be a gable vent and all that. My thing was, you know, the barn kitties or whatever, you know, they just waltz up the stairs and go up and live in the top and piss and crap and whatever. I can make a hatch that'll hinge there. Okay. I've already got the little, it's over at my mom's house, in that barn over there. It's a small electric motor with a gear drive, and it comes out to a shaft. Okay. And I can just have a hatch that comes down and lays flat over the top of that, and when I want to go up there, you just flip the switch and it'll pull that hatch up to the ceiling, and you'll have plenty of walk space where you won't hit your head and all that. And then also when it's closed, you know,
it'll keep the heat from
getting in and cooling.
Yeah, next thing you know, you'll have it all insulated off and friggin' air conditioning
that knows their stuff about building, okay, is probably looking at all the studs and going, what the hell, is he on crack when he built this building? Because the idea was 24-inch centers. However, in calculating out our budget and everything like that, I was putting the big posts on 5-foot centers. So that kind of screws up when you try to do 2-foot centers on 2x4s. So there's like extra 2x4s everywhere. And that's okay though.
Better to have too many than not enough.
Right. So what we're going to do for the inside wall, it's going to be a nightmare otherwise, is
build off the 2x6.
I'm going to gauge off of the 6x6 posts.
Yeah.
Every other post is 6x6, and then the ones in the middle are 4x4. That was in an effort to save some money without sacrificing too much integrity and strength.
Just tack a 2x4 to the 4x4s.
Well, the 6x6s, and then we'll shim out to the 4x4s.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I'll just have everything going.
We're talking about the same thing. You're just using a different lingo.
Yeah. And then I can skin it with in that will be the R38 insulation.
Yeah.
And with that, I can do, you know, I can put my wiring anywhere I need it. Of course, this wiring obviously is all temporary, but I can skin it with either, you know, plywood or, you know, that real hard fiberboard.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't do it with that just until you make sure it's going to be dried in good enough. Because that real hard fiberboard is good, but if it draws damp at all, it's sawdust.
Well, I thought about that, and that's probably why I'll end up going with plywood.
Yeah.
I don't want to go with OSB because
no, it's just he'd be in the same
boat.
boat.
It's all flaky and shitty, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But
now you got these chip out your little track for the doors
I
here.
still have to do some alignment on the track overhead here. And once I do that, this door will hang like it's supposed to. And the you know, that little groove right there will allow for the metal bar to go in there. And I'm going to make a guide that bolts to the bottom down there, and that'll keep the door from doing this, swinging out, and it'll go right as close to the edge here as possible. Of course, this form will go away, but and I thought, you know, yeah, they kind of make that stuff for like chain link gates and stuff like that, but I never could find anything that worked the way I wanted it. However, since I can make stuff up with metal,
Really?
there's my rollers right there. They fit on a 5/16 stud, okay, and they got nice bearings in them, and they're real hard rubber, okay.
Yeah, I can't think of any other reason that you'd be going out buying a girly skateboard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was like $8 at Walmart. You know, and if you try to go buy rollers and bearings and all that kind of stuff,
It's a lot more expensive.
you know, it's a lot more expensive. And and they're sealed bearings, so, and they'll be protected from the weather. Yeah, that was my screw up there with the concrete saw. I had to eyeball the last foot.
No. I'm zooming in on your little...
Oh yeah, I had Tammy do that since my handwriting's atrocious.
What? A tech with crappy handwriting? No.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why we got our jobs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're doctors in it, what matters to you.
Yeah, well, yeah. For those of y'all that were asking for an update on the neighbor's horses, there they are, all fat and happy.